Yo, what is good YouTube? I'm Richie Kim, and today I'm going to be bringing you all the performance review on Russell Westbrook's 5th signature sneaker with Jordan Brand, the Why Not 0.5. Before we get started, if you all enjoy sneaker content just like this, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button down below, and also hit that bell notification button so you never miss another video just like this. But anyways, let's get right into it. As always, starting off with the traction, the Why Not 0.5 features like this nub-like traction pattern across the whole outsole, and in this particular color, it is a gum rubber. And yeah, I'm gonna just tell you all straight up that the traction is not good on this shoe. If you're doing linear stops, I'd say the bite is like pretty fine. But if you're doing lateral movements and you need to stop on a dime and whatnot, yeah, this is just not gonna help you. It is atrocious actually. If you're playing on your clean courts, you should have an okay stop, but if you're playing on your average courts like your 24-hour fitness, LA fitness, those type of courts, you're gonna be sliding all over the place. There are times where I've actually slipped out as well, so I would say most of the time though, you're gonna just be sliding a lot to a stop. There is no like stop on a dime feeling at all. Like I mentioned, for linear stops, it's kind of okay, but lateral movements, you're going to be sliding a lot. And this thing does pick up some dust, but even after you wipe that dust off, it really doesn't help. I never had a single good like lateral stop at all playing on my LA fitness courts, so just keep that in mind. Yeah, the traction on here was just not good. I was at least expecting this traction to perform like half decent, but this traction on here is just terrible. And yeah, I really did not like the traction on this shoe. So moving to the cushion, the Why Not 0.5 features what I believe to be a full-length Phylon midsole, and in the forefoot you do have a giant zoom unit, and the zoom in the forefoot feels great. It's very bouncy. You can definitely feel it. It's really nice. If you all like zoom in the forefoot, you will definitely like how the zoom feels in this shoe. In the heel, like I said, it is a Phylon. It isn't the softest Phylon, but you do get some impact protection in the heel. I wouldn't say it's like a lot or anything, but just enough. But if you are doing like a lot of hard landings or whatever, you probably will eventually feel that, you know, the impact, it's just going to catch up with you. Whereas in the forefoot, like I said, that zoom unit does a great job of that impact protection, responsiveness, and gives you a lot of bounce as well. So the zoom unit in the forefoot does feel very nice. For me, you know, I'm just happy that they put the zoom unit in the forefoot, so I'm totally okay with this cushion setup, although it would have been nice if the heel cushion was a little bit better. So for me, the cushion setup was perfectly fine. So moving on to the materials, this particular colorway has a bunch of different materials. You have like a synthetic leather toe cap over here with some kind of like felt material, and then along with some canvas material, and that's pretty much like the whole base of the shoe is this canvas material. You do have hits of corduroy in other places, like on the tongue right here and on this medial panel. Like I already mentioned, this tongue is corduroy and it is decently padded. If you do like to crank down your laces, you know, you won't feel the laces digging into your foot, which is cool. And another thing about the materials that I actually do like about this, on this particular pair at least, is it does have that deconstructed vibe, or that like off-white vibe, which looks pretty cool in my opinion. So yeah, you know, overall the material usage on this shoe is honestly not that great. It's definitely not the most premium feeling. This probably feels better than the other GR colorways though. At least that's what I'm guessing. I actually haven't had a GR pair in hand yet. But yeah, you know, the material usage on here is definitely not the most premium. And they did upcharge $10 for this particular colorway, which kind of sucks. But yeah, you know, overall it does the job in terms of the performance. So I'm not really going to complain too much. I do just wish that, you know, it was a little bit more premium quality, especially for the upcharge. So moving on to the fit in this shoe, I would say that the Why Not 0.5 does run true to size. I am a slightly wide footer. I went true to size and I felt fine. It was just maybe a little bit narrow up in the forefoot area, but over time the materials do break in, and yeah, I didn't really have any issues as a slightly wide footer. If you guys have really wide feet, you may want to go up a half size, because I could definitely see you know, some pain probably happening, especially since the foam does wrap up on certain portions of the shoe, which could be a little irritating. So just keep that in mind. But everyone else, I would say going true to size is your best bet. You do have a little bit of dead space up in the toe box area, but nothing too noticeable. And I do feel like the materials do lie very nicely over the foot and do hug your foot very nicely. This is a half booty upper, so your foot is pretty snug in here. And yeah, the fit is overall very good. Just be careful if you do have very wide feet. So moving on to the support, I actually had no support issues in this shoe. You do have an internal heel counter. Like I mentioned earlier, this is a half booty upper, so this does give you a very snug and contained feel. I didn't have any side to side movement on the footbed, and in terms of the lateral movements, I didn't actually feel, my foot rolling over or anything like that. You do have this wide base, and this actually does form an outrigger as well, which is really nice. And then obviously in terms of torsional rigidity and stability, this is super stiff because this is a decoupled outsole, and you can see this plastic midfoot shank right here that kind of separates the outsole. And yeah, this shoe is super stiff. The support is perfectly fine in the shoe. I had absolutely zero issues. So the Why Not 0.5 retails for $130. This particular colorway I believe was $140. And yeah, for that price, I honestly just can't recommend it because that traction is so freaking bad. Like I said, on clean courts, like the bite was okay, you still slide to a stop, but just not as big of a slide. Whereas if you're playing on your average courts, you will be sliding to a stop, and it's a big slide. And sometimes you might even slip out, which is super dangerous. And that's just not something you want out of your basketball shoes. So yeah, just because of the traction alone, I really can't recommend this. If you aren't doing like a lot of lateral movements, I would say that you could probably get away with playing in the shoe and you might actually enjoy it because the linear movements were fine and I didn't really have any issues there. But it's just the lateral movements, you slide to a stop and possibly slide out, and I just really didn't like that. But hey, everything else about the shoe was pretty good. Obviously, one thing that could have been improved on is the material quality, but like I said, in terms of the performance, it gets the job done just fine. So yeah, the only real gripe I have with the shoe is that traction. It is really, really bad. If you like to be, super shifty or anything like that, this is definitely not it because you're going to be sliding everywhere and you could possibly injure yourself because of the slip outs. So I personally wouldn't recommend this shoe, but if you all did want to pick up a pair, I'll leave a link for you down in the description box below. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this performance review. If you all like this video, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button down below and hit that bell notification button so you never miss another video just like this. While you're at it, check out this video on my left and on my right, and that's pretty much it. Until next time, peace.